KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 78 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Matt Jones may take it to the house. The dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. My hot dog. Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
For one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Good morning and welcome into halftime on a Wednesday. Great to be with you on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com 1 minute after 11 o'clock. I'm Phil Elson. My partner, Matt Jones. Christian Johnston, he will be Sea Maverick today with NBA Finals Game 3 later on this evening. Matt, good morning. Looking pretty. Managed to pull it off again. You're on a streak. Don't mess with a streak.
I like it when you lie to me. It means we're going to have a good show today. I'm excited for you, Phil. You got a new addition to the family, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we did. I talked myself into going to the animal village yesterday after the show with my daughter and let her pick out a cute little 3-month-old kitten. But right now she's in her bedroom right now here in the home studio, making sure that little thing does not escape. Because there's a larger cat here that knows there's a smaller one around, and she ain't too happy about it just yet.
Is she on the prowl?
Not on the prowl. She's
Not
doing
yet.
some very, I would call it polite ignoring for right now.
Just
They're
scoping
not-
out the situation.
You don't want to let them look at each other for a couple of days. Just let them get used to the smell. Just kind of like you and me. You know, we had to get used to the smell of each other when you're in the studio for the first time, and then there can be some quiet acceptance. So yeah, it's a new family member. That's exactly right. Just trying to figure out his name. It was going to be Raphael, but I don't know because it came in a litter with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, all named for them.
See, if you could have got Donatello, you could have just named it Mbappe. And then
That's right. You said that's who he looks like.
Oh my god!
With
Well,
the
it's
shoulders and everything.
and it's a total compliment too. It's not a hateful thing. He's a ninja out there. He is. He's better than everybody else.
That's right, man. All right. So, yeah, exciting times now. I had made sure that this would be the time of the year where I would do either one of two things. Buy a new house and move. And I think right now I'd rather remove my own eyeballs than pack everything up and move to anywhere. Even if it was next door. We don't need to be doing any of that. And I want my eyeballs to stay where they are. So it's either going to be that or add to the family with a new animal, and that's what we're doing, at least for the summertime, and that's what my focus will be aside from this show and whenever football season comes around.
A lot of stuff going on. You got your boy Hunter Biden. He's in trouble. It's funny. It's like nobody thought you should write an autobiography about yourself. Who thought you like get over it? And then the late great Jerry West, he passed. Dean Weber. I was on a trip with Dean to see Dr. James Andrew, and I want to say we were in the Memphis airport when Jerry West was the GM of.
That's heading to Birmingham, right?
Yeah, of the Grizzlies. We flew to Memphis, and then Jerry West we saw Jerry West, and he's like, "You want to talk to Jerry West?" I'm like, "Jerry West don't want to talk to me," it's
But
like.
that's not the question he asked you.
And so I went and took a nap, and he went and talked to Jerry West. But that was my only time to ever really be. But what I was getting at is to hear the way Dean Weber talked about him, to hear the way people talked about.
Was he just kind of in awe?
It would be like if we saw Derek Jeter or whoever your favorite baseball player is. It's like our Michael Jordan. It's like you're just kind of that's the kid growing up. Barry Bonds, you're just like, man, I remember him growing up. He was better than everybody else.
But it's interesting how you mentioned Jeter there, because he's one of the athletes that has gone from legendary player from one place that you know him from to he's tried to be an executive. I mean, I think he was part owner of the Marlins, and then was kind of running them, making the decisions as the team president, and he left. Things didn't go very well with him there. Kind of like Michael
kind of
Jordan
an uphill battle
running the Charlotte NBA team too.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And so you look at what Jerry West did.
He did it better.
No, you realize he was already in the Hall of Fame before he ever. I think before he ran the L.A. Lakers, before he was ever an executive. We forget he was a coach too, brief time, but yeah, I mean this is somebody that wasn't just one of the greatest players of all time. He's one of the greatest NBA executives of all time. Like even think of Pat Riley, Hall of Fame caliber coach, Hall of Fame executive, and he was okay as a player. I think he played a little bit. He had a little playing career, but it wasn't. It was the same with Phil Jackson. I mean, he had a nice little NBA playing career, made his bones and his Hall of Fame credentials as a coach. Like Jerry West, even if you take away the playing career, he's a Hall of Famer just on what he did with the Lakers, independent of helping build Memphis into the the franchise that they are, and trying to get the Clippers to the level where he had the Lakers. Even if you take away the executive aspect of his career, he was already in the Hall of Fame.
And they had Mike Conley, Tony Allen, Zach Randolph, Mark Gasol. Yeah, you start looking at some of those Memphis teams that he put together, man. That's the best. I guess they're kind of coming back around if John Moran figure it out, but those were some good squads.
And there's another person that might not want to write an autobiography just yet, I guess, and Ja. And I mean, it just kind of come out of nowhere. No, I don't think anybody had heard anything about him being ill or sick. I don't even know what it was that killed him. So it's a shock. It comes out of nowhere. It comes the morning of the third game of the NBA Finals. And again, I never got a chance to watch Jerry West play. I've just seen some of the highlights, but growing up, I knew who Jerry West was as an NBA fan in the 1980s. I knew who that was. I don't know much about his playing career. I think somebody would have told me that's the NBA logo, that's him. I'd be like, oh, he must have been a really good player. But I think that's why, to me, it's different than a Bonds it's a little bit like an Elway. Although Elway did it with the team that he took to the Super Bowl a couple of times, won a Super Bowl with them or two as an executive. So there's a comparison, certainly. So I think you could point to Jerry West and Elway as, I don't know if you put Elway in as an executive to Canton, but it does say something that they won a Super Bowl with him making those decisions.
LeBron James is 117 points behind the leader, Jerry West, for most points recorded in NBA Finals. Jerry West has 1679. LeBron's at 1562. There's no other active players in the top five. So that's a stat that if LeBron, I don't have LeBron playing in any more finals unless he's a second teamer, like a C player. Like he can't be your first or second player. So that stat might not get broken for a while. Well, three times he's been elected. You were right. So not just as a player, but 3 different times he's been elected to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And that's independent of being the logo. Like you can only pick one person if you're going to choose a silhouette. I don't know the story of how they choose who it was. I'm sure we can find that out. I'm sure there are listeners right now that know that story. But it's also, the only other logo I know that's got a silhouette of a person is Pete Rose on the MLB logo.
That's Pete Rose?
Supposed to be Pete Rose.
Well, Jordan, everybody knows the flying Jordan. I mean, that's a corporate
logo for an athletic apparel company.
But
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm saying the Florida Gators, they don't put the swoosh, they put Jumpman, the Jordan. So he's kind of that's another guy I can think of like that.
Well, that's where we start halftime today on a Wednesday, where we'll have Clay Henry with us for a couple of hours starting at 12 noon. And it's good to have Grant Hall today coming up in the next segment because you got the U.S. Open teeing off tomorrow. And did you read or see John Rahm come out with the flip-flops and I guess you could call it the toe infection heard around the golf world? I mean, you had to talk about it a little bit. I saw you describe the infection between, I think it's the left pinky toe and the toe that's next to it, as basically a hole in his foot. And it was like, ugh, that's a lot of fun to talk about.
Yeah, we got to get to the ball. We got to figure that out. We need John Rahm out there playing golf. He's too great, but he's a live golfer. Phil, this is the coolest thing. I want to get Grant's opinion. Like, is this a clown course? Are they making this to where it's a little too gimmicky? Because
so when you say a clown course, what do you mean?
well, if they have the ball on the edge, you can't two putt. You get the ball and it just rolls off 17 feet, 30 feet down. You're like, the ball's got to stop a little bit. They're making it too fast, and so that it runs so fast where you're going to have guys that are getting a lot more three putts, and these are the best in the world. And when you're the best in the world, you want it as hard. That's kind of what I want to ask Grant. Do you want it as hard as possible? Just honest, on 1 to 10, do you want it 11? Or does it kind of get a little too gimmicky? Because the U.S. Open, I think what they try to do, Phil, is they try to make you be even par to win. Like you're not going to shoot 17 under to win the U.S. Open. If you shoot 2 under, that usually gets it. But the thing I just found out, it's an Olympic year, Phil. The top 15 golfers at the U.S. Open qualify for the Olympics, but you can only have 4 per country. So if you're outside of the world golf rankings and you win, or you get in the top 15 and you're ahead of you can qualify to go represent your country in the Olympics by winning this tournament.
Just by being in the top 15?
So right now, and then they go to the world golf rankings, and so the Scotty Scheffler, Wyndham Clark, Xander Schauffele, those would be some of the guys. But if you win this tournament, say you're 17th in the world golf rankings right now, you're 21st, and you win this tournament, you're going to get to represent the country. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Who would have thought that? I had no idea.
I just found out today.
Yeah. Everything to do with that. Good research by your crack staff, Matt Jones. So you got halftime all laid out there in front of you, and we'll take a break in a moment. Remember, Crabtree RV Center is around to help all those that were affected by the storms in northwest Arkansas a couple of weeks ago. If you were affected, if your home has to be rebuilt or is undergoing major repairs, you can't stay there, need to rent or purchase an RV, Crabtree RV can help you while your home is under repairs. Just reach out to them at 479-632-0829. That's 479-632-0829. They can also help with any repairs that you need to your existing RV. That's Crabtree RV Center, right at the junction of I-40 and I-49 beside the Cracker Barrel in Alma, crabtreerv.com. Joined by Grant Hall on halftime in just a moment.
This is halftime. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
Would you guys skydive, or you got too much to lose? I would, because I don't have anything to lose.
About 10 years ago, they came in here for some TV game, and I went up with Todd Blackledge. We were on a military plane. Yeah, I was going to do it. Now, that was 15 years ago. There's not a chance in hell I'd do it now.
Don't miss the Morning Rush. Weekdays from 6 till 9. Only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Hey, folks, here at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway with Grant Neal. Grant, let's talk about pre-owned vehicles.
Well, we've worked hard at trying to source great pre-owned vehicles. It's been very hard. The market's strong, but that helps people because we're giving the best value for trade-ins and the highest value for purchasing vehicles. But we work hard to make sure that we pick the right one. So every vehicle on the lot has been meticulously looked over, cared for, and inspected. So we really have the highest quality possible for all of our vehicles that we have in stock. We try to make sure we've got something for everybody. So if you're shopping for something, certified pre-owned, lightly used, very low miles, we've got it. If you need something that's more of a budget-driven vehicle, we try to find vehicles that are high quality while still maintaining the price points at $10,000 and below, $15,000 and below. So really, we've got a vehicle for everybody here at Rhodes.
And financing's available.
Absolutely. So we work hard to make sure that we can get people approved and get them the best possible financing. A huge selection of banks. We really surprised a lot of people who walk in and say, well, I don't think I can get approved. Well, just give us a shot. We'll do what we can for you.
Come out today, Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren.
Pay attention. This happens fast. You're on the forklift in your warehouse when it breaks down. You call Medley Equipment Company. Talk to Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie tells you they'll get you moving again. Debbie talks to a service tech.
Yep, I can do it.
Tech says when they can be there. That nice Debbie lady calls you back.
Hello.
Saying your forklift will be fixed in a few hours. Nice. Pretty fast, right? We're just trying to keep up because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires,
and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
Summer is finally here. Come check out Kofer's Boat Center's huge selection of boats with the best incentives in years. Kofer's experienced professionals will answer all your boating questions, and their award-winning customer service with Mercury, Malibu, Lowe, Camus, and Garmin will keep your boat in peak condition. Kofer's also has a fully stocked pro shop and updated RV and boat storage facilities. Find Kofer's online at Kofer's.com. That's COPHERS.com. Kofer's Boat Center, your authorized Mercury dealer, helping their customers create a lifetime of memories for over 50 years.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963. Now back to the host. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All guests join halftime on the McClarty Daniel hotline. Matt Jones making me laugh before I come back.
It's
on
the funniest of the pasta.
It was. We're trying to name the kitten, and we don't know exactly what to do it. He thought Fusilli Jerry might work. My daughter wants Jerry. We'll figure it out. Maybe before the end of the show.
Jerry West just passed a good homage right there. Yeah.
Do I need to? We don't need any advice from Grant Hall on naming kittens. I'm not sure, but we'll bring Grant on here, and we'll have plenty of the serious stuff to get to. But Grant, do you have pets? Are you a cat guy, or do you have any animals at all?
We're still working
on Grant. All right, this is a very important information to find out before I actually try to welcome him onto the show. Very important information to figure out there. So we're working on Grant. He did say he'd be in, so we'll
hopefully Kyrie's working on his jumper, Phil. He's gonna have to step it up, I think. I think that's the missing link, and especially if Porzingis is out.
35% from the field in 2 games, 0 for 8 from long range. That's not going to play.
And their open shots is the thing too. There's some of they're not like they're all contested, but yeah, he's I have a feeling competitors compete, Phil, and he's an alpha. I have a feeling coming back home a little bit. I think he'll I don't know if he'll get to 11, But the recipe
10.5, 9.5 would work.
The recipe for Dallas to win in the Western Conference Finals is Kyrie and Luka have to have 30 apiece. That's and Luka's been doing it, but Kyrie needs to step his game. If they can do that, the war, especially if Kristoff isn't playing.
I was going to say, I mean, maybe he plays game 4. It doesn't sound to me like he's playing tonight.
I wouldn't play him on the road. I'd wait till we get back to Boston, give him a whole full week because you remember when Durant did his Achilles not too long ago and then he tried to come back and he went up and down the court a little bit, but the first time he was done. Same thing with Porzingis. You got to keep him playing. Don't let him turn it up over a 7. Be like, man, you just got to stay to a 7. Play box to box, foul line to foul line. And you can be because you got to get 20 minutes out of him, really, if you're Boston.
I just wonder what Kyrie was feeling coming into this game. I know he told Luka, "I've got to be better," but he goes into Boston, a place where he's got nothing but bad history, negative history
Bad
with
vibes,
those
yeah.
fans. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but that's not a guy who misses open shots the way he missed. All right, we've got Grant with us here today. Grant, what's going on today, Grant? We got the U.S. Open starting tomorrow. We got NBA Finals today. Jerry West just passed away. Let's start with Jerry West. What do you remember from ever having a chance to watch him play? And I mean, this was somebody that had just a singular career in terms of success on the court as a player and off the court as an executive.
Probably the best pure jump shooter ever. You get the logo, that means you're pretty good, right? And I remember one time I have a friend named Larry Robbins, and we were selling family Bibles in West Virginia one summer, and we went very near Cabin Creek. You can't even find it. It doesn't have much population, but that's where Zeke from Cabin Creek came from, and he was the guy. He was the model. Everybody tried to shoot that jump shot like he did, and he also was a very good, probably underrated defensive player, great at getting in the passing lanes, and it just shows how good somebody can be without winning a title, kind of like maybe Barkley. Barkley was a great player, never won an NBA title, and the Boston Celtics were always in the way, and they're in the way of Dallas right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. Are they in the way of Kyrie actually knocking down some shots? What do you think is going on with him in the first 2 games, and does it change going back to Dallas?
Yeah, maybe too much thinking about how it doesn't bother you, and it really does, that kind of thing.
You think it's all in between the ears?
It could be, but obviously the series could change a little bit going to Dallas now, and it'll be all about them maybe in the next couple of games, and maybe we'll still have a series. But what do you think, Matt? I mean, is it over? Has Boston got this thing?
Grant, if Kristoff can't play, it definitely gives Dallas a little bit of life. But I've just the way that the defense on the perimeter with Boston, with those 4 guards they can switch everything. And you look at Derek White and Drew Holiday. Dude, those are 2 of the best defensive guards in the NBA right now. Jaylen Brown's just as athletic as anybody, so he can do it. And that's the thing that they've been doing with Kyrie, is giving him fits. He really isn't getting to his spots he wants to get. He's kind of been more of a catch and shoot when he's open, and they've kind of been physical with him. So you're kind of looking for a little change with Kyrie. But, Grant, I had Boston in 7. If Dallas doesn't win tonight, then it'll be a gentleman's sweep. I think Boston will win it at 5 back home.
Well, I picked Minnesota, so you really can't go by. Still holding out for them.
And that's the thing, Grant. So when the difference between Minnesota to Boston is, so what'd you have to do when you played Minnesota? You had to take one player away. You had to take Ant-Man. That was really it. Karl Anthony Towns wasn't doing much. They didn't have you try to take Jason Tatum away. He's such a good player. He's going to rebound. He's going to get assists. Drew Holiday is one of my favorite players, Grant. He never, ever looks for his shot. He does everything else, and then when the shot's there, he takes it, and he's so efficient.
Yeah, and I don't know how much Tatum and Brown does one want to be the guy? I mean, are they comfortable being kind of the 2 guys? Sometimes players leave because of other great players on teams, but they seem to be coexisting pretty well.
Well, none of that stuff happens too often until a championship is won, and then things start you can see some of those cracks, I guess. So maybe win the title first. U.S. Open, I was looking up. I love the idea of where Pinehurst is located. I didn't realize that it's in such a small town because, I mean, the PGA was in Louisville, you know, big city. We've had major tournaments recently in Beverly Hills. I mean, it's about as dense as it gets. Little Pinehurst is like, what, 17,200 people or something in this tiny little part of North Carolina. What kind of a course is Pinehurst number 2?
Well, it's a great one, and the village of Pinehurst becomes 225,000 people this week, and it really, I'm surprised in one way that it's becoming an anchor site because doesn't quite have the interest. In fact, they're having to, cut down on the number of people that can attend. Just not enough hotels in the area. I mean, when I went there one time, I stayed 30 miles away. I've actually been to 3 opens there and have been there a couple of other times. I got to play Pine Needles one time in a tournament for riders, and then another time when Arkansas went to the Belk Bowl, got to play Pinehurst 8. And one thing about the Pinehurst that has changed really since they started having opens was it's not bent grass anymore. It's Bermuda greens, but they're fast as heck. And when you putt those things, you think, how in the world can I stop this ball? You're going to see people putting off greens this week. Shane Lowry said this morning it's going to be a putting contest. And so, one time Kerry Middlecoff, I think it was, famously said, no one wins the U.S. Open, it wins you. And this week, I've been picking Scheffler, and he's been winning. I don't think he's going to win this week. I just think it's too quirky. It's too... you could hit it in the sand hills and have a good lie, or 3 inches away you could have no shot. And so there are golfers who love to control things, and they don't like it when it's. Hubert Green said to me one time, he said golf was not intended to be a fair game, and you're going to see some of that this week. About lucky bounces or horrible bounces. So I can't wait to watch it. It's just it is a lovely little place. They have chimes.
This today, is this correct? If you're in the top 15, you qualify for the Olympics, and if or Ricky Fowler and you win this U.S. Open, then you're on the Olympic team.
Well, the countries do it different ways.
USA gets 4.
Yeah. So I think that's going to become more of a big deal. Getting to go to the Olympics as we go along, but. It's kind of the focus of the world this week, or at least of the golf world. And Mike Wan just gave his press conference, and I know they had the Hall of Fame induction there the other night. You know what? It used to be you could see it from the golf course, and then it went away for years to St. Augustine, and not enough people, I guess, went to it. So now it's been brought back to Pinehurst. And I would recommend anybody go there, especially when maybe 225,000 people aren't there for the week.
Going to watch much of the College World Series, Grant? I'm going to get my eyes on it. I think this is a fascinating field, being that it's ACC versus SEC. And there'd be other years where I'd be petty about it and be like, Hogs aren't in it. I don't really care very much. But I am really interested in this. I think right now I'm looking at a Texas A&M versus Tennessee finals. I wonder what you think.
Well, I'm looking at Tennessee winning it. I'll just say that. I have a lot of fun with my son-in-law, Anderson Braswell, who's a big ACC guy. And, of course, he has fun arguing ACC versus SEC, at least as long as the ACC is still around, right, for a couple more years maybe. But, yeah, there were some of those confrontations in the regional, super regionals. I mean, and so, but I think Tennessee's got too much. I think they got too many guys who can hit home runs. That's my pick.
Yeah, I like North Carolina too. To me, they feel like a dark horse. Nobody's really talking about him. They might have the guy who could potentially be the all-around best player, just in terms of all the things he can do in there. Center fielder Vance Honeycutt. Heck, he almost beat Arkansas single-handedly in one game as a freshman in the Super Regional in Chapel Hill. So, but all these teams, what they all do is they put up a lot of runs, and that's the thing that was lacking from Arkansas. But Hagen Smith was just named Perfect Game Pitcher of the Year, Grant, and he's constantly compared to Paul Skeens just in terms of dominance from last year to this year. Skeens is dominating